And now on to the ranking criteria of project readiness. Basically, your community's application must demonstrate that the proposed project is appropriate, achievable, and that all actions have been completed necessary to allow that project to go forward if it is funded with CDBG funds, whether in whole or in part. If your community's application is funded, any required action that was not completed at the time the application was submitted to the department will be included in its NOSAF letter as a special grant condition. For example, a required IEPA construction permit was only applied for at the time the application was funded. Well, that's an action that must be done ahead of time, as opposed to the environmental review, which is an activity that's only done if the application is selected for funding. The department is generous at the start of the application review. Each application starts with a maximum 50 project readiness points. And then as the reviews occur, appropriate point deductions are made when required actions have not been completed, not met or addressed, or included and documented in the application as we review them. For emphasis, the IEPA construction permit requirement is listed first because it's 20 points off if a project is determined to need a construction permit from the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency, but that construction permit is not included. Simultaneously, if it's a project such as sewers being relined or storm sewers being installed, where IEPA has conveyed that no construction permit is required for that type of work, that narrative must be included in the project readiness summary in the application. If it's not addressed or the permit's not included, 20 points are off. The next criteria is open CDBG public infrastructure grants, not housing grants, not RLF closeout grants, just open existing public infrastructure grants. And there's points taken off if the draw rate is not met sufficiently. The application must document that either the full control of the right-of-way for construction purposes is in hand or that it's not necessary. So once again, in the project readiness summary, if the community already owns it or there's no right-of-way needed, it's not an issue, please state that in the project readiness summary. You're going to also, for certain projects, include a water or wastewater treatment agreement signed by all parties. If that's not included or it's not being necessary, is not addressed in the readiness summary, that is 10 points removed. Same with property ownership. Address it in the project readiness summary. If it's not needed, state that. If it's needed, include a copy of the deed for the property involved. If not, 10 points off. Lack of a project location map with all of your project's locations mapped on it would be a deduction of 5 points. Not including a FEMA format with all project locations clearly marked and on the map would be 5 points. The grants budget, which we call the DCO PI working cost estimate, must add correctly and not include ineligible costs. That means the engineer's cost estimate must not include ineligible costs, because if it does and or the working cost estimate does not add up, or is unclear, that would be 5 points off. Lack of a fair housing resolution or ordinance would cost the applicant 5 points. Lack of a minority benefit affirmative housing statement or a minority benefit housing statement without a minority contracting goal that equals or exceeds the minority population of the community would cost the applicant 2 points. Again, I thank you for your time. And if you have project readiness questions, please first start out with your application's county's CDBG Public Infrastructure Grant Manager. If they're unavailable, I will be here and available to answer questions for you. Thank you very much, and have a good day.